Hello, everyone. My name is Martin. I'm the founder of selfmasterytrading.com. I manage a 4.5 million a year restaurant by night, and I trade by morning. I have a very interesting concept that I want to talk to you guys about today, and that is the idea of how life is a video game. And one thing about the video game of life is that when you start this video game, you don't have a clear objective. When you play the Super Mario game, you know the objective. You save the princess, you avoid the enemies, you jump on mushrooms. But in real life, in the game of life, the objective is not clear. Nobody gives you the objective. Nobody tells you what the mission is. No one tells you what your stats are. No one tells you what your strengths are. No one tells you how to get to the next level. You don't even know what level you're in or that levels even exist. Most people are playing the game without even realizing that they're in one. Your character stats are hidden. In every video game, they tell you the stats, your speed, your strength, intelligence, defense, stamina, special abilities. But in real life, we don't get that information. Even race cars have stats, acceleration, top speed, grip, handling. But we don't get this information. You don't automatically know your strengths. And that's the dangerous part, where since you don't know those things, then how do you know what to work on first? You simply don't. You don't know your weaknesses. You don't know your strengths. You don't know what environments make you weaker. You don't know what environments make you stronger. So part of the game, or perhaps the most important part of the game, is discovering your character, discovering who your character is and what your stats are, what your strengths and weaknesses are. Maybe your strength is discipline. Maybe your strength is people skills. Maybe your strength is patience. Maybe your weakness is impatience. Maybe your weakness is fear, laziness, distraction, or perhaps needing everybody to like you. That's why self-awareness matters so freaking much. Because if you don't know your character, then you'll spend your whole entire life fighting these missions that you were never even designed to fight. You'll be fighting a fight for no real reason. This is a reason why you need to study the mechanics. How do you level up? What are the mechanics? Who are your allies? Who are your enemies? What gives you experience points? Health is a mechanic. Money is a mechanic. Relationships are a mechanic. Focus is a mechanic. Emotional control is a mechanic. Reputation, energy, all of these things are mechanics in the video game of life, in the game of life. But most people don't study the mechanics. They just are smashing the buttons, just playing the game, not even realizing that they're in one. They wake up, react, scroll, complain, chase random quests, and wonder why they're stuck on the same level. You don't beat the game by being lucky. You beat the game by knowing how it works. And it all begins with realizing and accepting that it exists. One thing that I always tell people that are close to me and that I care about, I always tell them that one of the primary cheat codes in the game of life is mentors, coaches, paying for education. You see, back in the day, back in the 1950s, getting a degree was absolutely necessary if you wanted to have a sustainable income. If you wanted to have a real income, if you wanted to be a middle-class person, it was absolutely necessary. But now, in 2026, the world is entirely different. You don't even need a degree. A lot of the most successful entrepreneurs, a lot of the wealthiest people in the world don't have degrees. Or they went to college and dropped out, Steve Jobs, for example. But one thing that I will say is this: maybe you don't get a formal education, but there are mentors out there. Now, somebody might want to go to school and learn business from a professor who has never ran a business. See, that doesn't make any sense to me. You see, I want to learn business from a person that is currently managing a successful business, from a person who is currently building a successful business, not from somebody who read from a textbook what it means to run a business. That doesn't make sense. That's like if I am trying to teach you how to box, but I've never boxed in my life. I've just read it in a book and I know the techniques and styles and approaches based on what I read in that book, but I've never boxed myself. I mean, is that going to be of any benefit to you? I don't think so. Mentors are cheat codes, not shortcuts, cheat codes. In video games, sometimes there are cheat codes, or sometimes you meet people who have already passed that level, and then that person can tell you, oh yeah, if you do this, you'll pass that level. I remember when I was playing these adventure games, I would get stuck sometimes, and then I would have a friend that would say like, oh yeah, this part is super cool, man, look, and he would show me. And then that would get me to the next level a lot faster. Instead of taking weeks and months to figure things out, I will figure it out within minutes because I will have somebody who has been through that level before and passed it. That's what coaches, mentors, books, and wise people do in real life. They don't play the game for you. You still have to hold the controller. They can tell you, don't go that way. That's not going to end well. Go this way. Gather resources first. Collect some more coins. Power up before the next move. Upgrade your health before you try to fight that boss or that demon or whatever the next level bad guy is. And that's the point. A mentor is someone who helps you stop dying on the same level. This is the reason why I'm very serious about paying for education. I pay for education all the time. I've paid for education multiple times. I've paid thousands of dollars for mentors and coaching. I'm a firm believer that paying for mentorship and coaching is the number one most powerful thing that an individual can do to level up in the quickest amount of time humanly possible. Resources are for leveling up. In video games, you collect coins, you collect points, you collect resources, you collect weapons, you collect upgrades. But the smart players don't waste everything on cosmetics or skins, like the appearance of the character. The smart ones, they use the resources to upgrade their stats to make themselves stronger, faster, more stamina, more intelligence, whatever it is that actually benefits the character for fighting the big fight that's coming up. And life is the same, money is a resource, time is a resource, energy is a resource, attention is a resource, relationships are a resource, knowledge is a resource. The problem is most people spend all their coins trying to look like they're winning instead of actually upgrading their character. And you see, this is one of the things that I've learned recently, because when it comes to lifestyle inflation and how people increase their income, but then they increase their expenses, I realized this recently, where somebody might get a massive raise or they get a new job that pays them more, and now they're able to save more money. But because they have more money available to them and they don't have the financial knowledge or financial awareness, then they go and they buy more clothes, or then they buy the rims for the car, or they buy these nice things for their home, when in reality, that's the trap. You see, from what I've learned recently and from some of the people that I've met that actually are doing extremely well, they don't care how they look. They don't care if their clothes looks old. They just don't care. They are more serious about what they're building, the financial machine that is building in the background that nobody sees, versus the overall appearance of things or how they look. They're not dirty. I'm not saying that these people are dirty or that they look bummy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they don't prioritize those things. They prioritize the financial machine that is running in the background. And that requires a lot of security with yourself, a lot of self-esteem, right? You're just secure with yourself. You don't need flashy things to stand out. You don't need flashy things for you to feel better about yourself. You don't need the most expensive jackets. You don't need the most expensive and flashy cars. And once again, I said this before, I'm not saying that it's not great or cool to have those things. I'm just saying that a lot of the people that I know that are doing extremely well, they don't prioritize those things. And a lot of the people that I know that are struggling, they prioritize those things. Or they prioritize substances. So they rather, use a substance to numb the pain or to alleviate the stress rather than saving that money for a better, brighter future. So in conclusion, I just want to say life is a freaking game, man. The stats are hidden. The objective is unclear. The distractions are everywhere. And most people are stuck just smashing the buttons uncontrollably, not being aware of the game they're actually playing. But the moment that you become aware of your character, the moment that you study the mechanics, the moment that you realize what your mission is, and you use all your resources to level up your character, that's when the game begins. All right, guys, it's just something I had in mind today that I thought I should share with you guys. I feel like it's a pretty cool idea. It can potentially benefit people. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys listening. I'm going to continue on creating this content just simply because I believe that it can be beneficial for at least one person out there. So that's what inspires me to create these videos. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please drop a comment if there's anything that I missed or something that you don't agree with or something that you do agree with. Just drop a comment so we can interact and continue to build community. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Peace.